Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. I huh. Wow, I've been taking a look at headlines. Um, Earlier I kind of just was thumbing through them, trying to figure out, well, what am I going to title the show? Because I always try to take something out of headlines to title the show, and I'm definitely noticing a lot of talk about cyber warfare. And I mean, as in, it is happening right now. As you probably know, there's claims, anyway, that Anonymous took down RT. And I don't quite know if it was truly anonymous or if it was a three-letter agency doing it under the anonymous tag. But, you know, we watched things like Gibson Go get hacked, of course. But even more so, governments are being hacked. Ukraine was hacked, and of course, Russia's been hacked, and everybody's hacking everybody. And I'm really starting to think that there may be something on the horizon. Now, I saw a post earlier in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and it was talking, I think, North Carolina or something. Trying to think of who they said the Duke Energy was the energy provider. Apparently, there's an issue, or at least was an issue, with something SCADA or something, SCADA, something like that. Apparently, there was some kind of an issue with that, which could, from my understanding of it, cause significant problems. So I don't know where that's at or anything. Again, it was just a Facebook post, so I can't sit here and tell you that, oh, it's something that I confirmed 100%. And I'm not saying that it was necessarily hacking that took the system down or what, because I don't know. I have no idea. But I did think I would mention that. I figured I would bring that up. But I do think that we are going to see critical infrastructure be targeted by other countries. And I think we're going to be targeting, and I think they're going to be targeting. And I think it's probably really wise to start putting this on our radar. I know the big talk right now is nuclear war, and I know a lot of people want to talk about that, want to talk about, how to prep for nuclear war. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think, and please forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that there's going to be an all-out mad, so to speak, scenario, mutually assured destruction. I really do think that it would be high priority targets, and it would be done with tactical nuclear weapons or other types of weapons, in which the civilian population would likely not be negatively impacted. And in an instance as such, I don't see that the nations would wind up in a full global, full-on nuclear exchange. I just don't see that happening. And again, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I don't see us going there, and if we do, we're all pretty screwed anyway. But what I do see as being much more likely is some type of cyber event, and I really do think that there's a good chance it's going to hit our grid. So just kind of keep an eye on that. It's kind of an elephant in the room, I think, because of course a lot of people's talking about nuclear war at this point in time, and again, I don't blame them. That's good. It's good that people are talking about it, talking about how to be prepared for it. But just remember, grid down is just as devastating, if not more so, than we'll say a limited tactical exchange. I'm not talking about, again, an all-out, full-on exchange, of course. But anyway, don't really have a whole lot tonight to talk about, although right before I started the show, apparently, let me see who did what here. Let me make sure. Okay. So this isn't actually a nation. I wanted to be very, very clear. This isn't actually a nation, but this is certainly probably going to escalate things on a major level. Let me go ahead and bring the headline up here for you. Russian cats slapped with sanctions. Now, if there's one thing that's going to piss Putin off, it's going to be sanctioning his cats. That's just really going to piss him off. I couldn't resist that one. Hey, it's in the headlines. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, what else can we sanction? I don't know. Oh, it's crazy. Why don't we just ban the import of toilet paper to their country, right? Oh, man. Trying to think if there's anything that really stood out significant. They didn't travel today with the convoy. They took a day break, and then there was a rally tonight. I assume the rally's probably still going on. A rally tonight in Indiana, and then they'll continue on tomorrow towards D.C., the D.C. area. Again, they're not going into D.C. I want to make that very clear. They make sure to make that very clear. They're not going into D.C., and it was even included in the language today, nor the Beltway, which I don't know nothing about the D.C. area, but I'm sure many others do. So it's not going to be, they're not going to be going into D.C. or even to the Beltway. So They wanted to make that very clear from the start, because I don't think they want there to be an easy way for this to be spun off as a threat. So, but anyway, so not a whole lot, just like I say, a rally this evening. I know I tuned in a little bit earlier, and different people were speaking. They got a dog running around in a remote control car. It's kind of cool. And just like I say, different people speaking. Other than that, it seems like everything's going well. I will mention this. I will say this about it. There was, from my understanding, seating for 2,000 people. It looked like they were in an auction barn, is what it looked like. They supposedly had seating for 2,000 people. All the seating was taken up, and it was pretty much standing room only in that auction barn. And from what I could tell, it appeared that there was a pretty good sized crowd outside the door yet that couldn't even get into the auction barn building, which of course is I believe it's an auction barn essentially for like cattle and stuff. It's a pretty good sized building. I mean, you could probably auction anything in there. Vehicles, they've got semis parked in there. It's a big building. But anyway, it was packed full of people. I was really, actually, I was shocked at how many people were there. So, going very well. So you won't hear about it on. Man, the crazy thing, I thought about this earlier, is all along their way, they've spotted different news helicopters and stuff like that in the air. And I am yet to see any images, any video, or any pictures from any of these news stations that had a helicopter up in the air taking pictures and video. I have yet to really see it put out there. Now, I'm not saying there hasn't been. I'm sure there has been. But I'm sure it's few and far between. And I'm sure it's pretty much made little mention. And I would, I just think it's amazing how they try to spin stuff so much, and just absolutely how much they try to direct the human population. This is insane. And make no mistake, they are at war with you. Anyone that wants to totally change your perception of reality so that they can take control of you, they are at war with you. It's important we understand that, and understand that we know the severity of what it is that we're up against. That's why I jump behind things like this convoy. And when I say that, as in support, and trying to get the word out and stuff like that, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take us. And who knows what will be the right movement? Will it be the convoy? Could be. Maybe. Maybe not. We don't know what it's going to be. We don't know when the citizens of this country are going to have had enough. Enough of the citizens of this country are going to have had enough to make change. They're not just going to give it over. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. And it's just something that people need to accept. Are we there yet? I don't know. I hope. But I'm not smoking the hopium either. So, anyway, I reckon I could just do headlines and slip on out and make it an easy day. I never did go get the cans today either, did I? I got to do that yet after the show too. So, fun times. Oh man, let me have a little sip of coffee though. Yeah, it was pretty chillaxed day as far as keeping up with news. It wasn't quite so hectic, but at the same time, there was quite a bit to come out. But I think that I have a feeling the next couple of days, news-wise, is probably going to be pretty interesting. So, we'll see. There was one other thing I wanted to note. In the news I did watch earlier, I watched I watched something from, I don't know, one of the, I can't remember his name, Ned Price maybe, something. I don't know, a Pentagon spokesperson was speaking, and he was talking about, I guess, this Russian, and I'm going to call it the same thing they call it, because, I mean, what else am I going to, but it's apparently a convoy of trucks, Russian trucks, but they made sure to use the word convoy in the in the news, in the script, more or less, as much as they possibly could. And maybe I'm just, my tinfoil hat's too tight, but it almost seemed to me like they were trying to take the negative connotation about Russia with a line of military vehicles traveling down to I'll just say occupy Ukraine. It almost seemed like they wanted people to tie that to what's going on with the trucker convoy here in the U.S. I can't tell you that that's what they were trying to do, but man, they used the word convoy pretty excessive in the in the news report. So, or not news report, but press conference. I don't know. Go check it out. See what you think. But yeah, it's convoy. You know, it's like, wait a minute here. And yes, they will do things like that. Oh, man. Fun times. Alright, let's do some headlines. Hang on one sec. The weather's bouncing all around. It's got my sinuses and muscles and joints and all that all whacked out. Okay, sorry about that. Figured you didn't want to hear it. Anyway, you get switched over here. And again, most of the pictures didn't show up today for the articles. And of course, everyone's got the warning. Stay informed. This tweet links to a Russian state-affiliated media website. Dun dun dun. Yeah. Still more accurate than U.S. news. Okay, starting off from today, Beijing reacts to U.S. defense delegation in Taiwan. U.S. closes airspace to Russian flights. And the original headline, I think, said something like U.S. closes airspace to Russian aircraft or airplanes or something like that. And I made a wisecrack to somebody. I said, "Oh, well, that I was kind of hoping to take out my SU-35 this weekend." Anyway, let's see. Russia claims it is taking control of major Ukrainian city. Google to block RT and Sputnik apps. Oh. Ukraine demands security guarantees from NATO. Biden appears to mistakenly call Ukrainians Iranians. German ex-chancellor's staff quit over his ties to Russia, says reports. U.S. energy firms urge White House not to sanction Russian uranium, says reports. Europe not at war with Russia, says EU diplomacy chief. No, because they're not like bombing each other. Give it time. Gas price in Europe smashes all-time high. Well, let's see. I wonder why. China to continue trade relations with Russia. Kiev announces arrival of more Turkish attack drones. U.S. oil major quits Russia. China says it's keeping dialogue with Ukraine open. A U.S. task force to target Russian oligarchs. Russian steel giant stops deliveries to Europe, says reports. Russia's grain shipments drop by half. Biden pledges not to send American military to Ukraine. Well, no, you wouldn't send them to Ukraine. You would send them to the other countries, and then they would go through Ukraine. But, hey, potato, potato. Joe. That's right. Potato, potato, Joe. Russia claims responsibility for Kiev TV's tower strike. Russia not ruling out severing diplomatic ties with UK, says Moscow. Former president referred for criminal probe. Global courier stopped deliveries to Russia and Belarus. A U.S.-based former Russian foreign minister calls on diplomats to resign. Ukraine accuses Russian Navy of piracy. Arr, matey. Spain U-turns on supplying offensive weapons to Ukraine. I mean, I just want to see a modern day pirate with a hook. It'd be kind of that would be hilarious to have a modern day pirate actually playing the role of a pirate. That would Ukraine confirms second round of talks with Russia. Brussels bans Euro note deliveries to Russia. TV tower struck in Ukrainian city, says reports. EU bans broadcast by RT, said Sputnik. U.S. accuses Ericsson of breaching agreement over Iraq investigation. EU cuts off 7 major Russian banks from SWIFT. EU working on 4th package of sanctions. And again, we need to be very watchful of all this stuff. Because, I mean, it's really escalating quickly. If you couldn't tell. Meta blocks all apps of Russia's RIA and Sputnik outlets. U.S. and allies to tap oil reserves amid price spike. Sean Penn tweets about escaping from Ukraine on foot. Russia restricts liberal media outlets. Russia largest bank leaves EU. Russia sanctions could backfire on EU economy, says European Commission. Russia is now exclusively a ruble country. Remember back when I was tired of saying COVID over and over and over? Now I feel that same way about Russia. Turkey points fingers at Ukraine in fresh push for EU membership. A pro-Russian hacking group hits back at Anonymous, and again, I know that it's claimed that Anonymous did that to RT, but I don't know. Russia's space agency chief warns hackers could start war. Anti-vax protesters clash with police outside parliament. Russia reveals number of killed and injured troops in Ukraine. A flaming luxury car transporter finally sinks. France detains foreign legionnaires on Ukraine-bound bus, says media. A UN General Assembly votes on Russian offensive in Ukraine. U.S. announces sanctions on Russian defense firms. A government vows to take consistent steps to join EU ASAP. No troops and weapons for Ukraine, Hungary confirms. Russia may invade close ally, Western media claims. Russia planning to reinstall Yanukovych, says reports, and I'm sure I said that name wrong. U.S. eyeing ways to strip Russia of UN influence. Pentagon postpones nuclear missile test. Romania loses 2 aircraft near Ukraine's border. Oh, wow, I'm like getting done in record time tonight. Ukrainian lawmaker calls Biden's speech total disappointment. Russian billionaire super yacht seized, says media, and that's okay. They can bring it. They can just bring it up the Mississippi and park it there for me, and I can take it from there. Let's see. And as I've already told you, the reason, the straw that broke the camel's back for World War III, Russian cats slapped with sanctions. Putin's like, that's it, damn it, I'm done. Give me the button. Oh, goodness. Anyway, I'm going to sneak out of here and relax the rest of the evening and probably go to bed early because I'm lame like that. Anyway, don't really have anything more to add. Just going to be keeping a eye out on the convoy tomorrow, and as it progresses, and then obviously the rest of the stuff going on. So there's plenty of it, that's for sure. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.